What do I see as the chief dangers in the coming years for the American church? As I reflected on this question, I would say that in the church's desire and attempt to be relevant rather than to be biblical, in the church's attempt to be relevant, we become irrelevant. There's a warning from Martin Luther King that I have repeated many times in recent months in particular. He had said that the church has to be reminded that it's not the master of the state, it's not the servant of the state, it's the conscience of the state. And that to me sets in very simple terms when we wonder about separation of church and state. We're called to be the conscience of the state. But he said if the church loses its prophetic zeal, it will become an irrelevant social club. And I've been telling pastors and leaders that a lot of the marquees in front of our church buildings, we should just put irrelevant social club meets Mondays and Wednesdays, or Sundays and Wednesdays, whatever the dates are. And I believe that we are so in danger of a complete moral capitulation to the culture that instead of leading the way and swimming against the tide and going against the grain, we have just sought to be relevant, whatever that means, and have gotten away from certainty and have gotten away from clarity, that we really run the danger of becoming irrelevant social clubs. And Jesus says if the salt loses its saltiness, what use is it? No one puts salt on a table just to look pretty. It's there for a particular function. If the salt loses its saltiness, it has no use, has no value. So when we lose our saltiness, our distinctive, the thing that we bring that no one else can bring, then we become irrelevant social clubs. And then to me what I feel will happen is as churches who have lost their power, they've left their first love, they have a form of godliness, deny its power, there's no real divine authority, they've lost their moral relevance, that when they try to just start speaking up, it'll just be like a little puppy yapping. It'll be something that you just kind of kick away with your leg. No authority, no real threat to the immoral conscience of the nation by shining light in dark places, but an irrelevant social club now trying to recover something lost. I see that as a very real possibility. It's already here in large measure. And on a certain level, it's for good reason the world doesn't take us seriously. It's one thing when you are such a threat that you're targeted and maligned and attacked. It's another thing where you're just ignored because you're of no consequence. And I believe in many ways we have so disqualified ourselves. The mentality of becoming like the world to win the world always fails. And I've pointed out through the years that if you look at signs advertising a health club, you don't see some 600-pound guy on the treadmill, with flab hanging out everywhere. And hey, I'm in here exercising. You can relate to me, right? Or you don't have someone advertising a 12-step Alcoholics Anonymous program slurring their speech. So the world understands that you've got to show the goal and the opposite of where things are to draw people in. Yet we in the church, we often want to show we're just like you. We sin just like you. We mess up. Our families are messed just like yours. Now you can come and relate, right? And nobody gets changed. Join the mess together. So I once saw a little cartoon of two American Indians, Native Americans, talking to two Israelis. It was just a cartoon in an Israeli newspaper. And the Native Americans say to the Israelis, yeah, that land for peace thing didn't work well for us either. And each time we surrender something, each time we give something up with the interest of somehow making a treaty with the enemy, we defeat ourselves. So the danger of becoming irrelevant social clubs, and then when we try to regain a voice just like little yapping dogs of no relevance, that's what I see already happening and could happen on epidemic level.